everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm your host Oti and we are back for yet another Hetty Feather review. Now, I know it's been a while again, but the thing is, I've moved into a new room. So basically, I didn't want to produce anything whilst the moving process was happening. I wanted to get it all done. This has also given me the chance to proofread a few things. So, hopefully, business will resume very shortly. So in the last episode, we had the arrival of Ambrose and his adopted daughter Flo. We also find out that Ashok is looking for a relic called the Dawnstar that has been throughout his family for many generations, but it was stolen by the calendar's mad old uncle Montague. On the other hand, Jack planned to propose to Hetty, but this very much fails. Before he can do anything, Hetty is been sent a letter from Harriet inviting her to join her to become a school teacher. And I'm surprised that Matthias wasn't mentioned in this. But the note we ended on is where Hetty decides to write a book about the current events of this series called The Curse of the Dawnstar. So yeah, let's get on with Hetty Feather, Series 5, Episode 3. Hetty's narration reflects on the choice she has ahead of her going to New York, as Ashok and Gideon bring in a painting of Mad Uncle Monty. Ashok is also looking for a book, but she is working and sends him Edwin's way instead, as he will know. The Maharaja struggles to say thank you, so Hetty decides that she replies to him anyway to say that he's welcome. The monologue asks if she can be happy in another country, as we see a book titled The Bunding of Calendar Hall. Sorry, The Building of Calendar Hall. I just decided to say that because that's what it looks like it says, but obviously it isn't. It's just my autism going there. We then cut to Ambrose stealing from a room, as Hetty's voiceover then asks if she was pretending to be something that she wasn't. And then the titles run, and after all this time, we still don't get another new shot of Hetty. After the title sequence, the calendars are looking for a new nursery maid, as Flo sits down, absolutely knackered. So, Ambrose assigns Constance duties to Hetty. In other news, they intend to leave during the night with valuable belongings that they've just robbed, or will rob. We then go to the kitchen as Agnes is cooking her usual slop, which is complimented by Gideon, but rejected by Lizzie. Meanwhile, Hetty wonders what breakfast is like in New York City, and Jack tries to change her mind, which causes doubts, as she'd have no time to write, other than on Tumblr or Wattpad, which now you have to sign up for, by the way. Yeah, logic with a K, I like to call that. So, have Harriet and Matthias completely been Thanos snapped out of existence then? She then admits that she's happy where she is, but not for forever, as Jack is still feeling rejected. By the way, he's still got the one ring, which means Gollum's voice can be heard in his head.
Oh, she rejects you, my precious. She betrays you. Then take her to Mount Doom, my precious. Take her and show her the oxys.
Ambrose then comes in saying that Agnes has surpassed herself despite holding up a piece of burnt bacon. So Flo then offers to help her out. Hetty is also sent to occupy Constance, and Jack gives him the one ring back. Outside, Gideon has been told about Jack's plans to marry Hetty and her plans to go to New York. He then defends his sister's dreams and goals until they see Ashok having left the secret tunnel, refusing for any help. Back inside, Ambrose brings in the post, none of which is for the nursery maid, and a letter from George, as well as asking about that subject, which he changes by giving out the staff's wages. He also mentions that there are no applications to be Ashok's valet. This then prompts Rosamond to plan a dinner of mutton pilau, which apparently is a rice dish. We immediately cut to a stressed out Agnes who doesn't think she can make it. But after some reassurance and encouragement from Flo and Ambrose, she rises to the challenge. Or she could just order an Uber Eats or Just Eat, but then again, it will be some guy who's come from a hotel just up the road. Back outside, Jack and Gideon are both confused as to how Ashok had found the secret tunnel. Well, Edwin is also with them, so that could provide them with an answer. He admits that he was trying to be nice and points out that he's looking for the Dawn Star, and so must they, despite the curse. So they head back inside, but not without Ashok hiding. Meanwhile, Hetty tells a stunning and brave, boring story which Constance disapproves of. So she tells a PG version of the horror film Cabin in the Woods, and following that she's asked to write her own version. Yeah, 'cause that's good childcare, isn't it? Rosamond has to go out on family business, which she particularly isn't looking forward to. Which means, sadly, she won't be able to attend the dinner. So she gives Ambrose a list of people to become valets.
Hi there! I'm here to apply to be Ashok's valet.
Weren't you the guy who applied to be the butler?
Oh, no, that was someone else.
Just get out of my sight! So we then go back to the library and Edwin has found a clue on the painting, being a book which is in the library. Half of this is written in a language that only Edwin can seemingly translate. Ambrose informs Flo of Rosamond being out, so now is the chance to... Well, he almost says the quiet part out loud, but Lizzie is within earshot, who then asks Agnes why Ambrose is so happy about Rosamond leaving. He then appears scolding her and reminds Agnes to keep her adopted sister in her place, and in return she asks if the position of Ashok's valet can be given to Gideon. And she is told that she can give him the news himself, as she might become housekeeper sometime soon. So if Lizzie was there, why the fuck did he not just take his adopted daughter off somewhere else for a private word? You know? Somewhere like the pantry? Edwin has magically finished translating the text and points out that the Dawn Star is in the Ambry, which is a small compartment for sacred things. This leads them to think that it's located there. Ashok then comes out of the secret door and Hetty proposes that they work together, which the two young gentlemen both whiningly reject. Agnes gives Gideon the good news. He doesn't take it too well until the others come and pressure him into accepting the offer. So Gideon is now dressed up and is given his responsibilities by both Ambrose and Ashok, who references the Dawn Star subtly. In Rosamond's absence, he will be serving dinner. And by the way, BBC, for a side note, if you wanted a black Doctor Who, this is who it should have been. He should have been dressed like this, and he certainly shouldn't have been portrayed as an absolute sissy. So, Hetty returns to Constance without a story until she improvises another stunning and brave story based on stunning and brave Constance, who accidentally tells her of Jack's desire to marry. We then go to a damp and downtrodden house to see that Rosamond comes in, and somehow Lady Grenford returned. The dinner goes as well as expected, as Edwin uses an excuse about losing his eyeglasses to go out and search for the Dawn Star. So Ashok and Gideon then follow them shortly after. Lady Grenford is surprisingly glad that Rosamond came, as she apologises for Emily's 16th birthday and reveals that she is dying, so she wants to make amends. Back at Calendar Hall, Edwin's group struggle to find the Dawn Star, so they go into another room. Flo and Ambrose then move to their quarters and prepare to leave. Not far off as well, Gideon and Ashok conduct their own search. We go into another room as the criminals begin to mug it, until Ambrose finds the library and sees Edwin's translation and the painting of Mad Uncle Monty. He goes back into the secret doorway to find the same symbol that's on the book, and unlocks the ambry, leaving with what seems to be a scroll. Immediately after that, in comes Hetty's party and Ashok follows in. They notice that the star is carved into a wall and open the ambry to see that nothing is there. A short while later, Rosamund's carriage pulls up and she comes in to see everyone talking about the Dawn Star, which is unknown to her and is told about briefly. Edwin then is the first to notice Lady Grenford's arrival, and Flo and Ambrose arrive to dismiss the staff. Edwin finds out that Grenford is staying at Calendar Hall and is understandably enraged, but he is being protective and is told to calm down. Rosamund doesn't think that the Dawn Star is real and sends Edwin back to his room. A little later, Ambrose opens the scroll and finds yet another clue to finding the Dawn Star. Down in the kitchen, Hetty is in disbelief over Rosamund letting Lady Grenford stay. Ambrose then promotes his adopted daughter as Agnes can't cook, but with experience she'll thrive. Flo is then called away as well. Jack then hears Hetty now wants to go to New York because of Lady Grenford's presence, and tells him about Constance's claim that he wants to marry her. This is seen as a miscommunication, and Hetty thinks that they are more sensible than that, and then Jack just decides to go to bed. Meanwhile, Ambrose informs Flo that they are stopping for a few more days, much to her dismay, and he obsesses over the Dawn Star, which will set them up for life. Flo wants to stop robbing and settle down with a garden. Really? Another fucking sympathy villain? Jesus Christ. You know, one thing I'm tired of in not just Hollywood but in everything is that we get these villains who do these things for pathetic little purposes, and Flo is one of those characters. It's like the MCU here. So then we go to Hetty's voiceover. The narration talks about if it was ever too late to change, or if one could turn over for a few moments, starting afresh with a new beginning, as we see a shot of Lady Grenford settling down. As she reads to Constance, she also recounts how Jack's intentions don't make her decision any easier, and stunningly and bravely asks if she's meant to be a wife or a teacher, as she describes the story of how Mary Sue Constance stunningly and bravely kills an Eki Thump creature with a yellow lightsaber on Mount Doom to retrieve the Omnitrix from getting into that bad man Vilgax's hands. And Hetty closes with wanting to write her own ending and is sure she'll be a writer. So, in summary, feminist, whiny, feminist Hetty wants to be stunning and brave to go to New York. She don't need no man to help her out, but when she gets there, she'll ask, where are all the good men gone? I understand that people should be able to follow their dreams. If you got a dream, you know what, go for it. I'm not here to judge you, but you know what? The way she said it was misandristic. She could have said, I want to be a writer in New York, or I want to go to New York. And that's all she could have done. But we had to go down the I don't need no man route. Oh, but that's not the worst of it. No, the worst of this episode is that the next time from the last episode and the previously in the opening moments of this one is that they reveal the plot of Lady Grenford coming back. So clearly these guys have never heard of spoiling your own show. When I was a Next Step fan, I remember seeing that there was a reveal that either Cleo or Jude, one of the lesbians, was on the opposing team. No, it was Cleo. Yeah, that... How dumb do you have to be? Well, glad the Next Step's going to end soon, and tell you what that's going to be best remembered for? Is that when it was announced it will be the final season was the same week that President Trump got elected, and oh my god, wasn't November a glorious month? Now, earlier I ranted about how Flo is a sympathy villain, and I stand by this. Ambrose, on the other hand, concept-wise is good. I mean, they want to mug the place, cool, but they have to make Flo a sympathy villain. I mean, the thing that Ambrose does, and what makes him a good character, is that he does something similar to how Brody was with Hetty, where she manipulated her into being her friend. Ambrose is doing the same with Agnes, and at the end of each request, he says yes. So you will cook the bacon, yes, and psychologically, I believe that's a way of getting people to do things without them questioning orders. Parts of it also defied logic. So, for instance, the scene where Lizzie is present to hear Ambrose telling Flo about their plan. And it's just like, she's there. Why would you say something like that? Then we have Lady Grenford returning. Yeah, do I think she's going to make amends? I think so. I hope she does. And finally, the search for the Dawn Star. So, it's pretty engaging, the way that this is going to be a mystery of many clues, eventually leading them somewhere to find this ancient relic. And now we know Ashok's real reason for coming to Calendar Hall, not just to be educated in the UK. And now it's time to head up north for a bit, where we see Cook Jenkins with the method in the making, and she's got a new man with her. Well, seeing as Jack wants to marry Hetty, I myself have found a man of my own. This is Darth Simon. It's Darth Sion. And I believe that this storyline is absolute shite. I reckon that I could go and find the Dawn Star in 5 minutes, as I destroy everyone and their corpses lie on the floor with the power of the dark side. As you can hear, Sion here is a bit of PTSD on him, and he's got a load of anger to get rid of. So I've decided to take him on and see if a bit of hard work can get rid of that anger and resentment. Can't we, darling? Yes, we can, my sweetheart. Either Hetty does want to be a writer, or she doesn't. Or she wants to marry Jack, or she wants to do something else and go to New York with Harriet and Matthias. Could she please decide what the else is trying to do here? To be honest, I just prefer stopping in kitchen. And thank God Flo's helping out with Agnes. Honestly, if I'd have done something like that, Matron Bottomley would have kicked me out. Or if Sheila had have done something like that, she would definitely not be welcome in my kitchen anymore. Bloody hell, it's like the kind of stuff that the new cook in the family hospital does. And oh my God, I hear she's doing well for herself so far. Not. And was that your mobile, Sion? Indeed it was, my sweet cheeks. It is my Facebook notifications telling me that my ex is in town. Don't, my love. Resist it. Well, this search for the Dawn Star business is certainly summit alright. I'm just glad it's not in the Foundling Hospital. Otherwise, Matron Bottomley would have got her grubby hands on it. But we all know who would have really found it. And that's Monica, God rest her soul. She'd have found it in 5 minutes without even thinking about it. Anywho, I'll pass back to Oti here. And that ends today's review. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Ta-ra now!